Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next session of Pi Mumbai's webinar. Again, today we have two iconic entrepreneurs. The context for today's session is that we just had a recent announcement of a insurtech company called Majesco, which got bought out by an American private equity company. And for a lot of people, including me, we didn't know that this company was born and bought up in Bombay. They did most of their business in North America, and the company was sold for $590 million plus dollars. And the next shocking thing was it was our own Ashank who actually formulated and made this company. So to grill him today on making so much of money, we have, as usual, Harish. You all know Harish is the founder and executive chairman of Onward Technologies. He's the founding member of Pi Mumbai and the first president. He's also the founding member of NASSCOM and the first president of NASSCOM. He is also the director with Indian Angel Network, a senior advisor to SIDBI for their fund of funds. And Harish over to you. Let's see what Ashank story is all about.
Thank you, Naveen. Naveen, in your intro, you said company called Majesco. One of the subject of discussion today. Not a household name, it should have been, but it is not. So our objective is to make Majesco at least a household name in Mumbai.
Absolutely.
Friends, 2 weeks back in Mumbai, we heard and we watched $20 billion pouring into Jio, a Mumbai-based company. 2 days back, we had a great conversation with Sharat Sanghi of CEO of NetMagic Entity, again a Mumbai-based company running a hyperscale, high-density data centers, and Mumbai is now #1 in the data center business in India. Today we have Ashank. Now Ashank and my relationship with him goes back more than 30 years just before starting NASSCOM. And today the industry is at $185 billion. And we can talk a lot about what happened in these 30 years. We can also talk about COVID-19 and its impact, what the industry is passing through. And there are many such number of issues that are coming up. But today, we're not going to talk about the industry from that perspective. Today, we're going to talk about Ashank. It is his personal story and his personal journey from, he started this Mastech, and one of the offshoot of Mastech, which is Majesco, one of the, I would say, first company in India, successful in the B2B space, and that too outside India. A phenomenal success story in the product space. We have a lot to learn from him. So that's the subject behind today's discussion. We'll start by Ashank telling us 15-20 minutes about his personal journey. Then I've already received so many questions from many of you. I will run through some of those questions, then throw it open to the audience, and that's how we will end the session today. So Ashank, over to you.
Hi, Harish. Thanks to Ty for arranging this. Ty has been doing a great job. You guys started it many years ago. Harish has started many things. I don't know, we have lost a count maybe. NASSCOM, of course, that we had a journey together. So I consider Harish, of course, as my elder brother. So I'm not announcing his age, but he's being my elder brother. I have to follow his order. And he's also senior in NASSCOM to me as the chairman. So we all go in front of him. So with that little bit of naman, I will start the discussion. So thanks, Harish. The story is very long, Harish, and it's worth describing because it's really an offbeat story to that extent, I would say, and not a conventional, you might call it, at one level, a product story. So the story can be described. You have given me in 15 minutes. I'll try to do it. It can be described various ways. There are many angles to that story. One is the angle of this company doing product and all that kind of. And then there is a story how Majesco get incorporated outside Mastech. So that's another story to be worth talking about. Then there's the story of acquisitions which we did, which are very interesting stories too. And then there is, of course, this exit that we are talking. So let me not make it complicated. Let me make it kind of sequentially, and then I will answer your questions. So Harish, you know, you and I have been in this industry for the last, God knows how many years, 35 years or more. So when we started Mastech, which is all four of us founders, as you know, Ethan, Sundar, and Sudhakar, our name was Management and Software Technology. I'm starting from there for all those who are not knowing the story. Idea was coming from our background from MBA and all that. We wanted to build solutions. So we never did much of export actually in early 10 years, of between up to 90 actually, which was little bit of delay from our end, from the services point of view. But we were very passionate about building product from where we came. And you know, we had this financial accounting software and broker software way back in 1985. We were one of the first application product company, if I may humbly say. And I still remember there are some stockbrokers who are still using our product. I was surprised to hear them. They say, "वो तो चल रहा है, अभी क्या करना है?" It works well. So that was our foray in product from the beginning. Our passion was so much that we actually got our first venture capital to build ERP system. Many will not know. I'm still talking of Mastech here. And we were one of the first globally to build ERP, Harish. I have not talked too much about it, but it was even before SAP Oracle had launched their ERP. They had MRP, and it did well in India. But you know, we were all part of that discussion of zero duty for software exports, and I am part of that decision. So it had an impact, obviously, but that's a separate story. So this bug of product was there from the beginning. Although we were doing projects, services, we were successful, all that was there. Bug for building product was there all the time. In fact, this ERP we built assuming we will not do software export of services. We'll succeed building product. That was the vision. We couldn't take it forward. We got venture capital. Venture capital got very much return, by the way, if you know. They multiplied their money 10 times when we went public. Not only for ERP product, but the company as such. But the point I'm making is we were very much focused on building product someday, which will be global. So that was there. Now we were running, of course, service and project and successful company. We were getting many projects which could be converted into products. And one of them was insurance software that we got in Asia Pacific in Singapore. So we said, okay, it looked good. We said, why don't we make it a product so that we can sell? I'm now talking of 1997, 98, that period. So this is a journey 23, 25-year-old. It starts from there. And we invested money in building that product. Well, very early years, nobody wanted enterprise product. Someone asked me a question, why application product? Why? Because we were about application software. We don't know anything other than that. So insurance fitted us very well. So we first built some small dhacha, as they call it, of product, which we started to sell in Asia Pac. We were okay. We were not that successful because it was all fragmented. There was other big competitor there, so on and so forth. But we didn't give up. We were continuously selling some licenses here and there. Time came in 2003 where we got one more opportunity to acquire a company. That company was doing non-life software. See, we were doing life insurance. This was non-life, and this was started by one of our early employees, by the way, Mastech's employee. He left and started that insurance company in US. And it was a small company. We paid, I think, some $30 million for that, which was a big money for us that time. But we took that risk. We said, look, we can't have a product only life insurance. We should do life and non-life so that we have a complete product. Now that opened up suddenly a market for us in US. It was doing very well. It was one of the good product in US. It was successful. So we used that as a beachhead to get into American market. But we had to invest a lot of money in R&D. Harish, as I speak, we have invested $200 million over last 15 years. $200 million. Now you will ask me, from where did I get the money? I got the money from Mastech. So Mastech was a cash cow, services. And we were investing that money in building the product for the international market. We were investing 10 million over last 8-9 years. Last 5 years, 20 million per year. That's an R&D budget Majesco has. So acquisition, then building on that acquired product and our own product into R&D investment was making life very good. It was slowly increasing the Mastech's insurance business. I'm still in Mastech. I'm not in Majesco, by the way. And everyone was not so happy with Mastech's bottom line. They will ask us, what is this? Why are you showing so much profit, so less profit? Everybody will ask us utilization numbers. All services company numbers were asked to us, but we were not completely services. We were services and product company together. We were using services company in some form to invest in product. We didn't take any venture capital. First venture capital I talked about was 25 years ago, some 80 lakhs or 70 lakhs. And it is, we will not talk about it now. The point I'm making is, we created product investment game because we had a money to pump from our profitable cash cow. Because of that, we suffered in terms of Mastech's performance. I must tell you this story. I have not told you this. Mastech as a company, of course, was not as profitable as a service company, solutions company would be. We are doing large projects, successful. We have done London congestion, as you know, whole London city's traffic management system. And then we did complete healthcare system, which is one of the largest projects. No other Indian company was there in bidding also for healthcare and so on. But the money was used to build product. And at one stage we realized that we cannot run product and service company together. Both had become big. Mastech was half, services was half, product was half. And then there were clashes inside in terms of culture, in terms of, in terms of various other things that happened. Priorities were different, competitors were different. Our competitors are American companies in insurance. Services was a different competitor. The technology focus was different. Kind of people were different. I'll talk about it later in Q&A. But there was definitely a problem running one company as service and solutions. So that is one inflection point. Second inflection point, Harish. We decided we will separate Mastech and Majesco. Now we wanted to reward shareholders. They have invested it. So we gave one share of Majesco to every share of Mastech. So now people had two shares, one Mastech share, one Majesco share, each with a different focus. And then things started moving fast. This happened in 2016. What happened was we acquired another 2-3 companies later in Majesco. Majesco has acquired 6 companies. So our journey is acquisition, R&D. Acquisition, R&D. Acquire a company that fits into the product scope, complete the picture. It's an enterprise product, mind you, Harish. 10 of the top 25 insurance companies in US are our customers, by the way. So we are talking of not faint-hearted kind of product. This is a product where people are running their business on. So it becomes extremely difficult, as you know. Services selling is relatively easier because nobody is making commitment to run their business on it. When we sell product, extremely difficult in America to sell product. Anyway, to cut the story short, I'm sticking to your 15 minutes timeline. What happened was we acquired a company which was a listed firm in NASDAQ. So effectively we got listed in New York Stock Exchange actually. We shifted to NASDAQ later. We were becoming first product company from India to get listed outside India. I can say that proudly today. We were the first company, pure play product company listed in New York Stock Exchange. We shifted to NASDAQ now because of various reasons. But that happened in 2016. I went and ring the bell. So I was feeling good that, our dream of becoming a global software company has happened. And most important is successful in America. 85% of sale happens in America. Many product companies have happened from India, but it is based on Indian success, developing market success, and then getting into America. We have just broken that barrier, showed the world we can succeed in America as an application product. Most difficult market, I can tell you that, but I don't have a time. I'm sticking to your 15 minutes order, so I'll stop. Now you can ask me questions. So this is the story from Mastec to Majesco.
I please continue another 10, 15 minutes. Cover all the milestones that you would like to cover.
Yeah. So the main milestones were, one, of course, a decision to build a product out of a project. So that's a thought which was there all the time. That is milestone one. Milestone two was our acquisition of this company I told you in 2005. It was in non-life. We had a life software, we acquired non-life. So that is the second milestone. The third milestone, which was very, very important again, was separating Mastec and Majesco, which kind of released the whole energy. It was a lot of this difficult decision because we were public. There was a board and we had to discuss and see how to make it happen. We did it, but that was second milestone. The third milestone, Harish, was of course listing in NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange because it put a lot of emphasis on, as you know, what it means to be listed in US, and that third. Fourth was we decided to go in SaaS, and this is extremely important decision we took. We said we'll bite the whatever they call it, because SaaS business created a lot of issues on the Majesco's performance in terms of revenue, because we were again going in a different model. We were all on-premise product company, and the world was changing. So 2016, we said, when we separated into Majesco, we will become the best SaaS insurance company. And that paid us very well. Today, all our valuation, honestly, if I may just say valuation, is because of our SaaS business. It is, I think, one of the, or maybe the top SaaS business in insurance. We are one of the three competitors as per Gartner. In US, there are three major players in insurance tech. We are one of the three. Okay. And among those three, I think we are SaaS leader. We are not the leader from revenue, but SaaS, I strongly feel we are a leader. So those are the four inflection points.
You talked about, you bought a company which was at New York Exchange, and then you shifted to NASDAQ. It just reminds me of a story. Last year, I met Capgemini CEO at home, and he said, we are also a co-founder of NASCOM.
I see.
I said, you? How can you be? We acquired I get acquired Patni, and then Patni was the original one of the founding member of NASCOM. So we are also, in that sense, a co-founder.
All right. of NASCOM. Good logic. We can buy that.
Okay. So, at any point when you kept pumping money, as you were saying, $10 million, were you getting any returns out of it, or was it still, in a sense, loss making? I'm doing P&L for the product game.
Yeah. Of course, it's a good question, Harish. Insurance business was loss making business till 4 years ago.
Oh.
It was not making bottom line. It was just breaking even at best. It was a division of Mastec, as you know. So it was not a separately listed, but if I just look at back, as I said, it was making little bit of profit maybe, but it's kind of investment. So we said, if we had to stop it, Mastec's performance would have gone up very high, to be very honest. if you look at it that way, just wearing Mastec's hat. But that was not about it. It was about building a product company. So you had to work hard. We required that hard work and passion
Then
to
why
build.
did, if you put so much money and you had great product running now, what prompted you to exit then?
Okay, that's a difficult question though. So it is like this, Harish. There are four factors actually. I don't think it is one reason. It's a sum of three, four things coming together. So first is this is a product game, and we want Majesco to be world leader. Honestly, it can become, but the kind of investment that will be needed, kind of money that we'll have to pump into it, is going to be substantial still. We are investing 20 million, but we are just kind of there. So that is one part. There is a marketing investment in product business and all those things. So one is the game is getting larger and larger, and SaaS business is going to also get that kind of. So that is one investment required. The second one was that it is just that shareholders of Majesco in US, we have shareholders in US, which is a Majesco Inc., which is a subsidiary of Majesco India. So we have shareholders in US, shareholders in India. And some of them are actually founders of acquired companies also. Some of them in US. We acquired few companies and we give them shares of Majesco. So from all of the founders' perspectives and shareholders' perspective, there was an expectation of a good return. So that was there. But that was not the only reason, but that was there in everybody. The third was, what really happened was we got a deal from one of the best VC companies, one of the top VC company, Tomo Bravo, which was 75% more than the market price. Now, that is a right price, obviously. So that is one of the triggers. If somebody had just offered us something else, we would have said no. So I think all things put together, it kind of felt okay. I think let's move on. So so it is like this, Harish. If you ask me emotionally, we have this beti badi ho gayi, so we can give it back. Shadi ho gayi, so it goes back to home, or a son becomes independent. So it is like that to us as the founders. Yeah, I think Majesco will grow, and we will look at its success saying, okay, we created it.
So that related question, Ashank.
Yeah.
Majesco, when listed in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and a Majesco listed at NASDAQ,
Yeah.
3 times the price difference.
Yes.
Why is it that?
Okay, you are asking me difficult and nice questions actually. Everyone asks that way. See, there was one discount which was legitimate discount was required, which was that Majesco India was holding 75% of Majesco Inc. So it was not 100% owner. So the market cap of Majesco's 75% only will come in Majesco India. So to that extent, that discount was required. However, there were two other discounts which were happening. One was everybody was saying it is a holding company. So there is, I believe, some holding company discount in the minds of people, shareholders in India. Okay, they were discounting that value. And the third discount was, I still feel product business is not valued by Indian investors so sharply as it happens in US. See, Tomo Bravo, when they came, he said, you are sitting on a gold mine. We asked them, why are you paying 75% price here? I mean, they have their own shareholder. They said, we see a future in this. We have, and they had put large number of people to I really understood how to do due diligence from them. I mean, they really rip you apart. And they, of course, know the business very well and so on. So they said, you are sitting on we want this business. We feel that we will take it private. We will grow it faster because we won't have a pressure of stock market probably. and then we will see where it goes. So all these discounts are there, unfortunately, and that's why that 3 times price that you talk.
They are not discounts. They are just a polite way of saying they don't want to value the company the way product company should be valued. As simple as that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel we need to do a better job.
It could be ignorance. It could be not being sensitive to product game, which is intangible, and how to value it so much. You value 5 times or 10 times the top line, which that sensitivity and that appreciation is not there. Is
Yeah.
not success stories in India in the product game going to the extent. And we have the same challenge for all the startups in some way. So many of them prefer to go via. So there's a lot of work to be done by NASSCOM, TIE, with the Indian investor community in terms of educating them, bringing them up to speed in terms of how they can take a high risk call, which is not really a high risk, but it may appear to be a high risk call.
Yes.
That's probably work going forward for us. Yeah.
See, Harish, you and I went public many years ago. We were not finding that level of analysts and shareholders in service company also, isn't it, that time? They used to keep and ask us some very naive questions. Now they have become very smart. They can tell us how to run our company. So that maturity will happen over a period of time, hopefully.
So coming back to your product game now, can you share some insights in terms of what challenges you had in attracting talent? Let's say specifically in a city like Mumbai, what challenges you had in terms of maintaining the versions of the product, because in a product game, it's not a project type.
I know.
Continuously to keep upgrading it. So how you were maintaining the versions and the testing it and still keeping the quality? How do you retain your talent in the especially, which is very in short supply in terms of product development or product architecture? Can you throw some lights on it here?
Again, a great question. If there is one piece which is missing in India from product business, that is the product talent. Product talent, particularly for enterprise products. The enterprise product, as you rightly said, requires version controls like nobody's business. You install one product, customer wants to change it, and then it becomes his or her own version. And then you lose a control on it. Then if you want to upgrade it, you have a hell of a problem. So version control is very important. But coming back to sequentially answering your questions, see, talent partly was there in Mastech, Harish, because we were always a solutions business, and I am very proud to say that we didn't do Y2K as much. You will be surprised. I think I have told you that. We thought we should be a company doing internet product that time in 2001. So one may question why you didn't do it, but we didn't do so much. So our heart and mind was more in building large solutions. So we had people like that in our company who could visualize something. I'll again go back to Mastech, Harish, only because you and I have been talking for years, as I said, and you understand Mastech better. We did the London congestion charging project. We had no idea what it means to be a traffic control. And they asked us, you are an Indian company. You have no idea. Why should we give you a job? We requested customers, ask everybody to present the solution in a PowerPoint presentation. Ask everyone, I said, and you decide. We did a PowerPoint presentation and technical team, and they said, you guys know better than anybody else. And we got the job. So, and we made it successful. I'm very proud. As you know, Prince Charles came and said, our city needs it more than London, and you were there in that meeting, I think. Anyway, to cut a story short, we had a talent in Mastech because of solutions company. And we found it difficult to get in Mumbai, I agree to some extent. In fact, we had started our product division in Pune actually. If I go back in 1990s, we didn't want it in Mumbai. But Mumbai has another advantage though, you must remember. Mumbai has domain experts. If you are building application product, if you need insurance experts, they are here. They're all sitting here. So Mumbai has an advantage of getting those kind of guys, but not the product architect. So what happened was, we acquired so many companies and we got some of the really good guys in product in America who really knew what it means to do product architect. In fact, our product success of last 5 years happened because we acquired a company whose architect, chief CTO is still a CTO here. And he architected it. Certainly, they took it one step ahead. Now, that kind of talent was not there in India, honestly. Or if there, it will be very, concentrated because we don't have many product companies. So, one second reason we got it is to the acquisition of the companies. The third one was, of course, what we did was we hired many people from outside and forced them to train our people in Majesco. Like first time we got someone from IBM. He was an, I think, European guy. He was training people. So, as I said, one is partly a DNA of Majesco, Mastech, partly acquired companies and the talent, and third, of course, was some training which we had to do ourselves. Because product management is completely different business. We have burnt our fingers on many products. I can tell you that. In this,
is that the reason you separated the product business as a company?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Service guys cannot do product as well. Service mindset is different. And how to do product architecture so that you have a version control, how to maintain the sanctity of that architecture is a science by itself. If you remember in NASCOM, I keep on saying, we should do more for the enterprise product also. I have been saying this in our product council. Why? Because I see that we don't have that kind of talent. We need more of it. And that is a key talent required if you want to build products. Your second question was regarding, what was that? Sorry, I forgot.
No, another question would be, say you succeeded in a tough market, United States. How did you acquire a first customer or any customer? Can you share the journey of acquiring a customer in the US market? I mean, what were your challenges, whether skill sets to positioning to selling India to whatnot?
Yeah. So, as I said, one of the one of the positive side we had was we already had insurance customers for our services business. So we had kind of entry in that game. Okay, so that was kind of proving that you are already in insurance. That helped. If I had just gone as a product offering, I would have found some difficulty. So they'll say, oh, you are coming from India, you don't have expertise, you don't have any install base. So some Mastech goodwill and Mastech experience did help us to get into product, because they said, okay, you understand our business well, maybe you could do product. That's one. The second stream came from acquired company. We had acquired a company who had already got those customers. So both of them together allowed us a beachhead into that market.
So the product that you developed, did you have any patents around the product?
Not really. It's copyright, not really patent in that sense. Because software, it gets difficult to have patents of the patent kind. Maybe some algorithms you can patent, and maybe in US, guys, some of our guys might have done. I may not be up to date, to be honest, but I mean, it's not a patent game. That means advantage doesn't come from patent. That's all.
So is it, but like normally company would like to have some sort of a moat around a product strategy. Did you plan any moat around the product game?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Harish.
As a strategy, you will have multiple, you'll like a moat, you put a sort of a fence around it. Others cannot come and, or it will take time for other competition to enter. Did you plan any such strategy?
Yeah, so that strategy is a SaaS strategy, Harish. When you are in SaaS, you are ahead of customers.
Yeah.
Okay. And SaaS, by the way, let me answer your version issue. When you really develop a SaaS product, you have a control on your version. As they call it, multi-tenant software. Multi-tenant means what? It is not just taking existing on-premise software and loading it on cloud. That is not SaaS. SaaS is about you putting a product and everybody using same product with some changes they need in their side, but no touching of product. So when we build a product like that, we found large number of customers just jumped off from their existing uh, suppliers or existing vendors or their legacy software and jumped onto it. So we built a moat around it by being early ahead of our time. We focused on growth from the beginning. If there are three things we did well, looking back, one was focusing on growth. I'm now talking of Majesco separate company. Aztec story is over. Majesco is running their own business. They could have also shown a higher profit. They didn't. They continued to invest $20 million year after year to build SaaS product now. We said we need to be in SaaS. That is the only way we can compete with the other companies, our other competitors, who were also big ones, not a small one. So that was one part. Second part we did very well was, I don't know in a competitive sense, but our sense of customer presence and customer relationship was much better. Part of it came from DNA of Mastech. I strongly feel that we have that culture. So I think those are the modes that we built really. And completeness of a product was third one.
Okay.
See, what happens is insurance market, any application product market is so wide variety, you never have a complete product. You know, there is a marine insurance, there is auto insurance, there is in life, you have annuity, you have a group. I mean, so a customer has a multiple lines. So he is looking for a complete solution. So we were moving towards complete solution and bypassing many other competitors in the game. So product completion was one of the games.
So that brings another question. Are all Indian insurance companies your customers?
The good question. So what happened was, we had a product for solution management. It is being used presently by almost, I don't know, half of them. It's not a whole product. This is not a whole Majesco product which we sell in US. We never offered it here. We never offered our full product here, which was a non-life. Our life product, when we offered here, some people had already taken a decision on their platform. So but if we sold non-life product, we would have been clearly leader. There was no question about it. But we didn't want to build any Indian version because that required a little bit of one more. See, insurance business, Harish, is little bit of country specific also. Regulations are different. You know, in US, every state has a different regulation. So you will realize it's not even national regulation. So you have a lot of pockets in insurance today which are very state specific. Somebody in Ohio has a different thing, somebody in New York. So we were busy in US and UK partly. So we decided not to offer it in US. So our full platform does not have customer, but some of our components has.
So if you had an opportunity again to redo it today, would you use a strategy which is first develop the product for Indian customers and then go abroad? Or would you still start from US or outside and then come to India? Because in India, you can develop the technology at a much lower cost compared to what you do outside. And the time span could be much smaller to go global and succeed.
Yeah. So it's a difficult question. Each has a pros and cons, Harish. If you do it in India, it has all the advantages. You can test it at a lower level, try it out, which also we did in Singapore, by the way. We didn't do it in India as much as some product we sold in Singapore. So we got some learning out of that. And in India also we sold some parts. So it helps to position it in India. However, it gets difficult if your product is a country specific. If you are building a product which is horizontal, which is applicable as it is across the countries, it gets easier India market because then at least you don't have to modify the product, you don't have to change the product. And then same thing can be applied here. For us, that luxury didn't exist. Okay. So I would say if you are building an application product, it has an advantage of starting in the largest market possible. But then you require a venture capital. Then you require to dilute yourself. We could pump that 200 million because we had a muscle behind ourselves because of our existing business. So that is a difficult choice, but it is advantageous to build product in US, honestly, from the proximity to market, venture capital, and all the other things you and I know. Uh,
I think, Ashank, now let me take some questions from the public.
yeah.
Kamal Agarwal, he has a question. Naveen, can we unmute Kamal and have him ask the question?
Yeah. Good evening, Ashank Bhai and Harish Bhai. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Ashank Bhai, it's so much of learning every time we hear your successful story, especially being a product company, out of India. So Ashank Bhai, you mentioned software services companies do not have the mindset to develop a product. But in India, majority of the young software companies which start as a product company eventually moved into software services to remain sustainable. What is your advice, suggestion, or some magic tip to them to remain successful as a product company?
No. So, Kamal, thanks for being here. I see you have been having a good haircut in spite
No
of
hairs, no hairs.
anyway, on the lighter side. See, actually, we are an example of a such company which built product. As I said, that we had a cash cow which was there, which we built a product in. So, but you cannot sustain it for a long time. A service business and product business is a different business once it reaches a size. You can't manage it under same umbrella. It gets very difficult. You can do it like any other thing. You can always do anything. But it's not advisable. Our Majesco energy got released when we said, you go and fly, in that sense. So your question is, if you find it difficult to do a product just as a standalone product, then you have no other choice than get a venture capital PE firm or there is a lot of it is available today. PE may not come first, angel investor may come. So there are options available today to do it, where you pump money. Of course, you get diluted in the bargain and all those patients are there. You have to think through it. But what I'm saying is, today at least you have some money available in India. At our time, it was not. When we started all this game, it was not available. So that choice you have. Otherwise, you can do what we did. Yeah, do a service business, but don't focus on bottom line of service business. Then you have to be very clear. All money that you are building goes in building product, because that's not kind-hearted business. You require to put money. As I said, $200 million and 60 million worth of acquisitions. We have done acquisitions we paid around 60, 70 million over last 7 years, 8 years. That is the way we could capture the market. We never stopped. We said money should not be a constraint. We will do whatever it is required to put money in this business if you want to be a leader. So there you can't stop. Okay. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
There's a question from the audience here. Did Majesco and Mastech combination, did you consider Majesco selling the product and Mastech offering the services around it as a strategy, or you had different partners to support your product?
We had a different partner in Majesco to support our product, because see what happens is, this product game with the application product game requires wide variety of partners who push your product. Today, SAP's success happened. Why? Because big four guys, as you know, started implementing the product. So, in fact, Mastech decided not to be in insurance business at all. So we kind of separated it, and Majesco only was doing that. And however, having said that, Majesco also had their own service team. It's not that they had also some services, but we worked with many other partners. And we signed with IBM, Harish. See, what happened was, I didn't talk about some of it because time is not available. IBM came to us and said, look, you have a product which is very good in SaaS. Why don't we go together? We have our services business, we have a consulting business, we have our artificial intelligence product, your platform, and we will sit on top of it. And in fact, MetLife today talks about how it has been successful. They have a video on their side, not our side. You go to MetLife site, they have a video. So we partnered with IBM, big way, that helped us, plus few others. So you need a partner to answer your question.
Pradeep Udas has a question. So, Naveen, can we unmute Pradeep and let him ask the question?
Hello. Hi, Ashank. How are you? So it's fantastic, story. I always remember, we of course go back many years, but the whole thing you said about, I'm glad you yourself answered that, that you always have, in a way, solution mindset in the company, right? From the old days with the British, so that really helped in the DNA. My question is, you said there are top three SaaS players in insurance, right? And Majesco
I
being.
said there are top three insurance players, and I feel, are leaders among those in that.
Okay, so in insurance player, but in SaaS or overall SaaS insurance software?
No, in overall software, we are not number one.
Huh. So in SaaS, right? In insurance, you are among them.
Definitely the leader.
So, the other two, how much do you think they would have invested in R&D versus what you did? I mean, I'm trying to say, I have a feeling that you probably got more bang for the buck in the sense that that way.
Good question. Coming from your KPMG background, I can understand those questions. But no, honestly, I don't have that number. I don't have exactly that number, but they are investing. It's a game of investment of product. You know the game.
Because that may give a lot of confidence to product players in India, because many times they're afraid, that we don't have the deep pockets like the US companies, and they're kind of afraid. But if you are able to somehow show that actually it's about innovation, and with less you can do much more, that.
And offshore helped there. You see, what happened was, we had an offshore capability. We have, and we could put 200-300 people just doing R&D. If we are in US, we could not have put that level of people. So the numbers were there because of our cost advantage. So there is an advantage of being in India. To answer Harish's earlier question, we could put that might behind.
Thank you. So,
thank you.
Now you have become an angel investor. Are you investing in SaaS companies?
You are asking me now embarrassing questions, but no. But seriously speaking, I am doing some angel investing, and I have kind of SaaS companies, not Majesco type, but I'm just saying, yeah, some, not all, not in as many as you are doing. You are more active than me, but yeah, I am looking at some of them.
Last week, I think we only now 6-7 minutes left.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll switch to the All India strategy. Last week, NASSCOM released a SaaS report saying that India should become a global hub, both from anyway, we are a major development center for most of the SaaS products around the world. And now as a SaaS product coming out of India for Indian market and then going abroad. In that vision, question from Ganesh is, what role NASSCOM should play? What role TIE should play?
I see. Okay. See, NASSCOM has been a great advantage for all of us, whether you, me, Ganesh, all of us created an environment for companies to succeed at a very high level. That is what we did. So I think there is nobody better than NASSCOM to create that environment at a national level. I don't think anybody can beat it. It requires regulatory changes. It requires a little bit of support. It requires, creating that infrastructure to succeed, if I may call it, within quotes. That NASSCOM can do very well, and there are many things NASSCOM can do. But what TIE does well, of course, is to get closer to the entrepreneurs at a ground level, inspire them, is a focused company, if I may call it. So it can do that job much better than anybody else. So I would, and bring venture capitalists together, etc., etc. So I think each of them have a role to play. The Thai more as a on the ground, literally, to help people. But you can't beat NASCOM in terms of all the, there is whole issues of regulation. There is whole issue of, as I was saying, creating a talent here. And some of those thinking we have to do. That Thai can't do. That is not Thai's game.
So tell me, if you have to give one recommendation, or let's say to increase the SaaS usage in India, is there any regulation to be changed? Is there any one regulation to be changed in order to encourage SaaS product business from India? Anything that comes to your mind which says this has to be removed or changed or whatever?
Not really that we require some great change for building SaaS product and making it successful. I really don't think there are any constraints. There may be some issue in terms of data, country-specific data and so on, but I don't think that would affect too much. I think we have all the capabilities, all the vectors, everything that is there today, except for the environment which America provides, which is different. You only know when you start working there, as all of us know. You can't beat that. It is there. It is unbeatable. But I think all the pieces, I don't see any constraint today. Anyone can do what we have done, honestly. I don't think.
But say in Majesco, for example, did you have any, let's say, Indian family offices approaching you to invest? Or any other PE, VC fund based in India interested in investing? And assuming they didn't come, was there any regulatory, apart from other areas, was there any regulatory bottleneck for them not doing it?
No, absolutely no. Absolutely no. There is no regulatory constraint that they have to invest. It is just their appetite, their appreciation of. We did have some enlightened PEs who invested in Majesco India, not in US. Even in India we had. So there are people in India today who understand. I would not say they are not there. There are very enlightened people who understand this game, and there are many skepticals who think that India is not ready for products. They advised us all the time. There are many Harish who advised us, why are you getting into this game? Indian product will not succeed. It has not happened. It is very risky game. It requires high investment. Everyone said that. You have a good service business. You have a track record. Why are you doing all this? You guys are crazy at one level.
So now we have a large number of startup entrepreneurs as in our audience here. What would you recommend to them? In which area, for example, to pick for investors or to start a company in the SaaS area? And what message you would give, or what sort of 2 or 3 guidelines or 4 guidelines you will give when they enter the SaaS business? What area they must tick mark before entering it?
Okay. So here is my advice at a very high level. If you want to really conquer the global market, an application product using SaaS is going to be a very high investment game. Unless you are willing to put that money, unless you are going to, take PE firm, dilute. If you are not clear on that, then you should not get into it. Then you should restrict SaaS application products in India. There is a great market. It is going to open up. Indian on-premise product, application product are going to move on SaaS like US. Even in US, it is early days, comparatively. So application product, I would advise them to focus on India. However, if you want to do horizontal SaaS product, you can do it today. Of course, there it requires investment of a different kind, not product investment as much as marketing, sales. So, but that is something that you could look at, because in today's social marketing world, some of the SaaS product can be sold. So they will be low value, high volume products, not the kind of Majesco product. Majesco product is an enterprise product. It requires
B2C products or B2B or no?
I'm talking of more B2B.
High volume, low price.
Or B2B, which is a small lever on top of existing enterprise product. That you can do. Pick up a ERP product, pick up an insurance product, and put a layer on top of it, which is a SaaS product, and it will sell. That you can do. Enterprise product building on SaaS from beginning is a tough game. Not that you can't do it, you will need a lot of money to do it, is all that I'm saying.
The last question, Ashank, is, as per the current projections, the SaaS market business from India will grow 4 times by 2025. In order to make it 6 times the growth, what should be done?
Okay. See, there is a lot of things that are that way missing in terms of not regulation as much as infrastructure. In a way, so it's kind of infrastructure of the kind which is soft infrastructure, not really hard. For example, as you rightly said, there is still less appreciation of financing SaaS kind of product and giving them a money. Now that is a little bit of missing piece. There is a talent issue, not in a big way now, maybe lesser now, but there is still a talent issue. We need to close that one. That is another area that we need to focus on. And I think if in India you have to succeed SaaS, which is a horizontal product, I don't think you can get away from language related issues. You need to create a multi-language product, really, if you want to go to B2C. Now some of those are a constraint in some form. I have not seen many companies doing it.
No, like Zoho, for example. Zoho is a great success story.
Yes.
On this.
Yes. Yeah, Zoho has been a great success, and they have a product which they started also from scratch. But again, they took substantial time, like any other thing. I think it was I don't know exactly, but at least 15 years or 20 years or something like that. I'm not sure. But Zoho is another good example which has been successful. And they have cracked into the B2B market, if I understand right, particularly the middle or SMB market. So there are products that you can do sitting in India, but then you should have a patience. You need a thorough discipline.
Indian SMEs or MSMEs start using SaaS product as to transform themselves. India can reach $5 trillion economy faster or accelerate towards that.
Yeah, of course. Of course. See, today, biggest challenge, as you know, Harish, in SME adoption of software is the price, the implementation problems. All those issues get completely reduced when you have a SaaS business. And we have that way a larger SaaS market in numbers. In terms of number of SMBs in India is more than America probably, just by numbers. But so there is a huge market there. That's what I'm saying. SaaS application product in India is a great market. It's available, and I would suggest to many entrepreneurs who are on this platform to take that challenge. It can be done, and I don't think there are many constraints. Yes, there would be some constraints always, but it's possible. I think Harish, just to summarize again.
Yeah.
All of us have been inspiration to those first generation entrepreneurs who started in 90s. We gave them example, I keep on telling whenever I talk to all of us who are involved in NASCOM from beginning, like Murthy, you, me, all of us, when we meet, we talk that, inspiration happened that time. I'm saying Majesco is an inspiration that product can be done. If I can inspire more people, I'll be more happy. That's it. It is all about inspiring more product ventures. If we can do it, I think we would have fulfilled our dream. Is all I'm saying on behalf of all our founders. We all stuck together to make it happen. That is another story, but the point is that was also a foundation. We all felt great about product. Imagine one of the founders not being passionate about it. We all were like-minded people, so we could invest this 200 million. That's what I mean.
So thank you, Ashank. We are running out already with 3 minutes over our time. Respect years in this product game and keep on investing. Great story. Thank you, Ashank. And thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks, Ty, for giving this opportunity. And Harish, you are the mind behind it. Thanks to you. We always look to you as our guide, our friend and philosopher. So please continue doing it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you all for joining us today. And that concludes our 148th webinar out of 134 days. And if you people think that this is almost like an end of the line statement, no, we have just today signed on 54 more days of webinar. May not be 54 continuous days. We almost have, on an average, have about 2 or 3 webinars a day. So August and September is already full with us. So we would love for you all to come back, join us, learn, help come out of the situation. And Ashank bhai, great story, great inspiration. There are many more questions on the chat, which I think we will send it to you personally, and if you could answer them, that'd be really great.
I'll be happy to do that. Thanks, Naveen, for a great organization. It went very smooth. You were worried about my sound level. I hope it was okay.
Perfect, not a problem.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Tomorrow is our Thai Food Network session, second half again. This is again marketing strategies for the food entrepreneurs. Please do look at that.
So there are chat messages I can go through, Naveen, here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get a time either, but I can get them separately once I get out. Or
sure.
Yeah, you will send it.
All of them.
Oh.
There are interesting questions from all really, really good people. So you could ask them and answer them.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.